You know you make me float.
So you guys, this is Morgan. This is Benjamin's sister. So this would be Farah's sister-in-law. So it looks like Morgan was just in the city and she stopped by this restaurant and she saw Farah and Salim. Now Morgan has seen Salim around the family before, but Morgan has never seen Farah and Salim alone before. And so she thinks it's kind of odd, that the two are together. And even though she has this facial expression, like we're going to pretend like Morgan doesn't have this facial expression, but she's just saying hi to them too. And it looks like Pharaoh's like, "Hi, Morgan. Funny to see you here. How are you doing?" And Morgan is like, "Girl, I'm good. I just came out to get something to eat." And she's like, "Yeah, well, I actually was just about to leave, so I'm going to go ahead and head on out." Now, Morgan thinks it's a bit odd that all of a sudden Farah is about to leave, so she's feeling a little bit concerned, and I think she's going to send her brother a text message like, "Whoa, wait a minute. Why are these two at a restaurant by themselves? That's weird. It's odd." Now, of course, Farah doesn't think anything of it because her and Salim are just like I said, really good friends, and so she's gonna head on back home as well. He is So Benjamin is here back home and he has just received a text message from his sister Morgan. And Morgan is saying something around the lines of, "Hey, bro, I just came from getting something to eat and I happened to run into your wife." And she's putting the words wife in quotation marks. I feel like Morgan is being a little shisty, like she's being a little shady at this point, because originally, like I said, Morgan and Farah didn't really get along. I think it was more so Farah being very protective over her big brother. And so she wasn't sure what Farah's intentions were whenever they got married, because I mean they do have Benjamin is pretty successful or whatever, but I don't think that Farrah wasn't necessarily money hungry or anything like that. I think that Morgan was more so surprised at how fast the two fell in love with one another. She felt like their relationship was moving a little bit too fast, and she was just wondering what the heck is Farrah's intentions. But overall, Benjamin let Morgan know, like, "Hey, I really do love this girl, and this is the girl I'm going to marry." So Morgan just kind of swept things under the rug. She's like, "Okay, well, apparently my brother really loves her, and it is what it is." But Morgan has always had some preconceived notions, I guess, with Farah. She's always been, I guess, a little on the skeptical side with Farah. I think it's a lot of projection, though. I think it's projections from some of Benjamin's past relationships where Benjamin would get with these girls, and really and truly these girls were not really good for Benjamin, and they would really just be trying to use him for like his resources and stuff of that nature. And men in the military get really good benefits, so she felt like that was one of the things too. Anyway, Morgan is saying, "Hey, your quote unquote wife was at a restaurant and I seen her with another guy. I seen her with Salim. I think it was kind of odd." And Benjamin's like, "What do you mean? Like they're friends. So what's the problem?" And Morgan is like, "I don't know. It just kind of looked a little intimate. It looks a little weird. Did you know that? Did you know that Farah was going to the restaurant with a Salim?" Benjamin is thinking to himself whenever Benjamin checked on Farah earlier, like really, really earlier in the afternoon, Farah told Benjamin that she was going to go get lunch with Tori, which is her best friend. But now Morgan is saying that Farah was out with Salim. So that's not the story that Farah told Benjamin. So Benjamin's kind of like, "Whoa, why is my wife lying? Like, why did she say that she's going with her friend Tori, but she ended up going to lunch or whatever the case with Salim? What's really going on here?" So in the back of his mind, he's kind of like, I need to talk to my wife about this one, because I don't know. But he's also not trying to let, things get into his head. It looks like Farrah just arrived home. She's like, "Hey, babe, how are you doing?" And he's like, "Hey." So he is going to go and, talk to her about it and address it with her. We're not going to have a water balloon fight. Y'all can cut that out right now. So Benjamin is gonna go over here and ask Farrah about her day, and he wants to just kind of see whether or not Farrah actually mentions the fact that she went out with Salim. And she's like, it was a good, I had a good time, just getting out the house. He was like, oh, okay. So what did you do? And she's like, well, babe, I went out to lunch. I was supposed to meet up with Tori, but Tori couldn't get out. And so I bumped into Salim, and we went out and had drink. We had a nice little lunch date or whatever like that. And he's like, oh, really? That's nice. Okay. Yeah. And then she's like, and then I saw your sister Morgan, and me and Morgan just talked a little bit. And he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm glad you had a nice day. And she's like, thank you so much, sweetie. Did you have a good day at work? And he's like, oh, it's been, kind of a rough day today. But, I'm just ready to kind of relax or whatever. I think the kids are ready to get some baths and everything. And she's like, okay, well, I can cook a little dinner or something like that. Do you want something to eat? And he's like, I think we still got some leftovers from the other night. So let's just, eat some of that. And she's like, okay, cool. That's fine. I am kind of still full from lunch, but I can snack on a little bit of something. Benjamin is a little relieved that Farrah did mention that she went to lunch with Salim, so he doesn't feel too concerned about it anymore. Farrah, on the other hand, she does not know that Morgan had mentioned to her husband that she was with Salim. I do feel like that if she did know that Morgan said something like that, she would be kind of like upset, like, what type of drama are you trying to create between me and my husband? Like, what is your deal? Ignorance is bliss. So Benjamin is not going to mention it, but I do want Benjamin to send a text message to his sister and just kind of clear the air and let Morgan know, like, hey, I talked to Farrah. She did say that she was with Salim today, but I don't think it's a big deal. Did you happen to see anything that might look a little bit more suspicious? Is there anything that I should be worried about? Now, Benjamin does trust his wife, but he just wants to be on the safe side, I guess, just to make sure. But does he really trust her? I think he does. I think he trusts his wife completely and securely. But if there's anything that odd or whatever going on, I'm pretty sure Morgan would say something. But more on the other side, Benjamin does know that Morgan can be a bit dramatic at times, and she can have a bit of a attitude at times. So, but I have a lot of buts here. But Benjamin knows that Morgan always means well in trying to protect him. So again, it is getting a bit late. I think Benjamin's just trying to keep himself busy with doing a couple of things around the house, and we need to get the kiddos to sleep. They want to apparently sit up and watch TV all night. Everyone is feeling very playful. I didn't check to see whether or not they got a good grade on their school project, or even if the teacher even looked at it. Aiding completing school projects really has a positive impact on grades. Keep up the good work. It looks like they got some increase in their grades for completing their projects. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get this family in the bed so we can get ready for Good Friday tomorrow and go on our camping trip. So like I said, Benjamin went ahead and sent that text message to his sister, but his sister has not replied. Benjamin doesn't necessarily feel threatened by Salim, but Salim seems like a pretty good guy, and like I said, he trusts his wife, and he doesn't think that she would do anything to harm him or their relationship or their marriage. So he's just gonna put that in the back of his head and sweep it on the rug as if it never happened, and he's not going to entertain the notion of there being something inappropriate between his wife and another man with his sister. So yeah, I will see y'all at our camping trip.